Everyone in the room went completely still. The old dog, Max, frail and barely breathing, slowly lifted his paws and wrapped them around his owner's neck in a heartbreaking final hug. Tears rolled down cheeks. Everyone thought this was the end, until the vet leaned in, her expression changing. "Wait! Stop!" she suddenly cried. What she discovered next would turn this devastating goodbye into a miracle no one saw coming. The room was quiet, the kind of quiet that made every little sound stand out, the low hum of the ceiling lights, the tick of the clock. Max, once a strong and loyal German shepherd, lay weak and still on a metal table, wrapped in a thin blanket. His breathing was shallow, his once bright coat was dull and patchy. Daniel, his owner, sat by his side while gently stroking Max's ears. His voice cracked as he whispered, "You've been the best friend I've ever had. I'm so sorry it has to end like this." Max stirred, his tired eyes opened just a little at the sound of Daniel's voice. With what little strength he had left, Max nudged Daniel's hand and let out a faint whine. Daniel leaned forward until their foreheads touched, holding on tightly. The vet and the nurse stood respectfully in the background. The nurse dabbed at her eyes. It never got easier, no matter how many times she'd seen this. Then, in a moment that no one was prepared for, Max used all the strength left in him to lift his front paws and wrap them gently around Daniel's neck. That hug said everything. "Thank you. I love you. Goodbye." Daniel broke. He clung to Max, his tears soaking the dog's fur. The vet stepped forward, syringe in hand. Her voice was soft. "I'm ready when you are." Daniel looked into Max's eyes one last time. "It's okay," he whispered. "You can rest now. You were so brave." Max let out a sigh. His tail gave a slow, weak wag. The nurse put a comforting hand on Daniel's shoulder as the vet moved closer. But just as she positioned the needle, she hesitated. A frown appeared on her face. She leaned in, listened with her stethoscope, then suddenly pulled back. "This doesn't sound right," she murmured. The nurse blinked. "What is it?" Daniel's voice was shaky. "What's going on?" "Hold on," the vet said. She was listening intently now, her brow furrowed. The heartbeat she heard wasn't the sluggish rhythm of a dying dog. It was uneven, yes, but it was there. Stronger than expected. Fighting, Max hailed slowly, his body relaxing a little, but his heart kept beating. The vet checked his gums. They were pale, but not the grey of death. "Get me a thermometer and pull his chart," she ordered the nurse. "I need to see his blood work again." Daniel stared in disbelief. "I don't understand. You said he was dying." "I thought he was," the vet admitted, "but something isn't adding up. I need to be sure before we do anything." The nurse handed her the thermometer. The vet read it twice, then looked up sharply. "His temperature's too low, but not from organ failure. This could be infection, or even poisoning." She turned to Daniel. "When did this start?" "A few days ago," he said slowly. "He stopped eating, was really tired. I thought it was just old age. He's been through so much." "You made the right call bringing him in," the vet reassured. "But if this is infection, we might still save him." Max let out another soft whine, as if he understood he still had a chance. "Start IV fluids," she told the nurse, "and broad-spectrum antibiotics. We can't wait for new labs." Daniel's heart pounded. "So he could make it?" "If we act fast," the vet said, "yes." Daniel sat outside the treatment room, tense and hollow. Hours passed. The only sound was the tick of the clock and machines running behind the closed door. He couldn't stop seeing Max's face, those weak paws wrapping around him. Finally, sometime after midnight, the vet came out. She looked exhausted, but there was a small, hopeful smile on her face. "He's stable," she said, "but it's still critical. If he responds to the antibiotics, he has a real chance." Daniel nearly collapsed with relief. "Thank you for not giving up," she nodded. "Neither of you were ready to say goodbye." He stayed at the clinic, refusing to leave. He couldn't sleep, not when Max might still need him. Then, just as the sun was beginning to rise, the vet appeared again. "You should come in," she said softly. "He's awake." Daniel stood, trembling. He stepped into the treatment room and saw Max lying on a clean blanket, IV in place. His eyes were open, warm, brown, clear. And when he saw Daniel, his tail moved in a slow, tired wag. Daniel choked back a sob. "Hey, buddy." He rested his hand against Max's face. The dog leaned into his palm with a soft sigh. "He's not out of danger yet," the vet said, "but he's fighting. And that's everything." Daniel leaned close and whispered, "You weren't ready to go, were you?" Max responded by gently lifting one paw and resting it against Daniel's arm. Not a goodbye, a promise. Let me know if you'd like this version shortened, turned into narration, or broken down into scenes for visual story.